Hello and welcome to TBH Games. My name is BetaRho, and settle in. This is a long video. I don't think I've ever done a full match of Smite on this channel, but this is a full arena match. This is the new game mode, and I can't even contain my excitement about how much I really enjoy this game mode. So, I'm not playing with anyone I know in this video. This was just a random match lobby on my main account. I think my main account is almost level 20, which I know surprises some people because it's like all I do is post Smite on YouTube. But when I do gods, most of my stuff is done in practice mode. You know, I really try to figure out builds before I go in and test them out in full games. So, you know, for any God video I do, I'll probably play like 4 or 5 practice mode matches and then go in and play 5 or 6 actual games, and then that's how I make a guide. So, I don't even know why I started talking about this. I guess I was talking about my elo or something like that and what level I'm at. But yeah, this is all randoms, and it's funny because people auto-locked their gods and then complained that no one picked the right gods. So everybody on my team, well, not me because I don't really care, but everybody was like all angry about the god picks. Said, "Oh my god, we have 4 melee. This is gonna be terrible." And as I tend to do whenever I post full videos of any game, I'm gonna spoil the ending right now. We actually do win. Hello, yeah, awesome, right? So I'll let that run in the background, and I might reference it if something funny or cool happens. But this is mainly gonna be talking about the patch because it's gigantic. And I'm glad I have a like a 15-minute video to talk about it because there's a lot of stuff. So the first one, obviously, is Arena. I mean, that's one of the biggest parts of this patch, and it's pretty goddamn awesome. So, first of all, new map, obviously. So you're in a big Coliseum-type thing with the fans in the background, and the fans actually cheer and start to kind of, not necessarily boo, but you can hear them get angry if you're dying a lot. So it's all based on your team. So obviously, whenever you play, I'm pretty sure this is how it works, that whenever you play, you're going to be the blue team, and then your opponents are the red team, so everybody's UI is changed to them. So, you know, the other team, when we're winning, they're hearing boos and blah, blah, blah. So it's got a cool mechanism. You can see I just passed a Griffin, which have replaced Phoenixes on this map. Pretty cool, and they actually kind of share designs with, if you watched my Loki video earlier this morning, I might put a link on the screen right now, I don't know. If you watched that video earlier, you saw that the towers got a redesign on what is now called Conquest. What used to be the only game mode in Smite is now called Conquest when you start up the game. And, yeah, so the Griffins in this mode kind of share some design elements with the new towers, which are pretty cool looking. What else about Arena? So, I'll go over the basic mechanisms, because again, I've got the time to while this is all running in the background. So, it is ticket-based. What other games like Battlefield? Battlefield has... ironically enough, I think that's Conquest, right? Their Conquest mode, and it's the same idea, it's ticket-based. So, in that game mode, in Battlefield, you release tickets based on capturing points and killing people, blah, blah, blah. In this one, it is all about killing minions, get you 1 ticket taken away from your enemies. Killing an enemy god gets 5 tickets taken away. If you've really got a big push going, and your minions get into their little portal at the other end, that subtracts an additional 1 for each one that gets through. Killing a Griffin takes 15 away, and I don't believe they respawn, so that's a one-time thing. But obviously, if you're talking about a game taking down a Griffin, I mean, it's going to be over pretty quickly, because that's a big push. Like I said, we win this game, but we never really started fighting at either team's Griffins. So that's how that went. So basically, matches are going to be about 15 minutes or so. They're not going to be very long, which is actually really cool. So if you're someone that plays a lot of ranked, this is probably what you're going to be playing in between ranked matches. You know, I think a ranked match takes maybe 30 or 40 minutes, so this will be perfect to jump into 15 minutes, know that you're going to be out in time, because it's pretty hard for the game to go any longer than 15 minutes. I mean, you really have to try to make it go that long. And it's just a lot of fun. So other things that have changed in this mode, obviously you saw at the beginning, you start at level 3. And do I get her? Yeah, see. I don't know if I did it there, but remember, if you're ever focused by Freya, go right underneath her. She cannot target straight down, so she will probably not be able to get all 4 shots off of you. yeah. I don't know if I actually got underneath her there, but that's the general principle. If you're ever in a situation where Freya ults on you and you're like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do? Just go right underneath her. She'll try to turn around, she won't be able to, she'll waste her shot. She'll come down right on top of you and can melee to death, like I did right there. So yeah, you start at level 3, so you have 3 abilities right off the bat. You start with 2,000 gold, so you can usually buy level 2 and a lot of potions, or you know, maybe even level 3 of an early game item and then buy a lower level of another item. You can do a lot of stuff. And as you can see, you actually get 8 gold per second. So you're going to be spending a lot of money pretty quickly, which is cool. But as you can also see, even though I was jungling right there for whatever reason, it's pretty early game to jungle, you don't get as much experience in gold from killing minions, killing gods, or no, I think gods are the same. So killing gods, yeah, you still get experience in gold, but killing minions and killing creep camps, or whatever you wish to call them, jungle camps, even though we're not in the jungle anymore, not as much. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to get any in there, no, not. But you get like 6 gold for minion kills. It's pretty low. Most of your gold is going to be coming from just the passive gold timer, which means that matches stay relatively even, which is cool. You know, it's kind of, that's what the game mode is all about, is just getting in there and going crazy. And I think, yeah, I get my fear up, but do I get out of here? I end up with, I already spoiled the end of the game, so why not spoil my final kill death? I think I go something like 8, 4, and 21. And obviously, in this game mode, since you're next to everybody all the time anyway, you're going to have a bunch of assists. There's my death, right? Kali gets me. So, yeah, 8, 4, 21, something like that. Some of my deaths are stupid. That one, I chased Loki, but I probably shouldn't have because I had already wasted my leap to get out of there the first time, so I knew I wasn't going to have an escape. But you know what? We got the 5 tickets, but they got 5 tickets right back. That's how you have to think about it. It's almost kind of like team deathmatch when you're playing a shooter. You know, yes, you got the kill, but did you expose yourself to the amount where you're going to get killed, and then it basically evens out anyway. But yeah, so that's enough for Arena. I'm on my stream tonight. If I do stream tonight, I'll be playing Arena, so you guys can check more out there. The other gigantic thing of the patch, obviously, is Loki. Now, I already put up a video earlier, but I didn't talk really that in-depth about him. And even though I'm not playing him right now, I'll go into some more stuff, especially his scaling, because I think people are going to be surprised by how much he scales. And if you watched my build earlier, what you saw me going for was pure damage, more or less, with movement speed and attack speed kind of in the background. I actually ended up getting the 2 physical movement speed items, both Golden Bow and Heartseeker. Obviously, a lot of people use Heartseeker, but, you know, everybody laughed about Golden Bow when it was in the video. But if you guys have watched my channel for a while, you know that I kind of like using not so mainstream items, because a lot of times they do pretty well, you know, to work out a function. And I really like Golden Bow on Loki, because you're going to be an up-close and personal god, especially when you're dealing with creeps, or minions. I don't know why I keep saying creeps. It's really strong because you can start attacking a god and you'll passively just kill all of the other minions around you, taking away all the body block opportunities that they have. But yeah, let's go into some of the scaling on Loki. So his Vanish, which is his 1, isn't that big of a number. It doesn't jump out of you when you hear that it scales at 25% of your power, until you remember that it ticks every half second for 2 seconds. Meaning, simple math, it actually scales for 100% of your power, because all 4 of those ticks will absolutely happen. So it will apply 100% of your physical power. Now, of course, that gets run through all of their defenses and all of your penetration. So it's not going to be, if you have 200 physical power, that doesn't mean it's going to apply exactly 200 physical power. It also, at the top level, does a base of 90 damage. So again, for 4 ticks, you're talking about 360 damage. I hope my math is right on that. So, I mean, that's pretty strong. But, as I said in my video earlier, what you really want to be doing is combining his 1 and his 3. Because his 3 is basically a big burst attack on his next big hit, or on his next basic hit. And that scales at the top level 220 base damage plus 80% of your physical power. So when you combine those two, your first hit does, let's say in the ballpark, whatever your build ends up being, let's say for about 400 damage, and then they bleed for about 200 damage on top of that. It's kind of crazy. It's very strong, to the point where you can do that combo and save your ultimate. I mean, I still haven't taken him out into the arena yet, but it's pretty easy to get a kill on a god that's kind of isolated by themselves, just with those two, without ever burning your ultimate. So that way, you can actually use that 1-3 combo to get a kill, and then use your ultimate to pop out of a team fight. Because I think a lot of people are scared about Loki in team fights because he doesn't necessarily have a great escape, but that actually lets you do a lot of damage and then get out of there fairly easy. That's enough about Loki. Now, I might do a full Loki video in an actual game tomorrow? I don't know. It's funny, I go from making one video a week to now having 2, maybe 3 in the same day. So there's 2 skins. The Loki skin, which is just a color reskin. It's pretty cool looking. I think both of our Lokis in this game are using the skin. So it looks alright, but it is just a reskin, so it's 200 gems, 11,000. Is 11,000 or 1,100? I don't know. 11. Whatever the 11 is for favor. I don't think I'm going to grab it, but don't let that deter you from grabbing it, because it is pretty cool. And then there's also the Agni Volcanic skin, which is also in this game right there, actually. Perfect timing. It is amazing. Whenever I do my Agni video, which I know someone requested it last video, I hate to say it, but I still kind of suck as Agni. He is one of the strongest gods in the game if you can play him correctly, and I know how I should play him. Also, nice steal there by me. Thank you. Pat me on the back. I know how to play him, but I'm just really not good at it, so I'm going to hold off for a little bit. Actually, what you're seeing right now, Sun Wukong, that will be my video this week, if you guys are wondering. I might use some footage from this game at, like, the end section of the video. Obviously, my guide videos are for Conquest mode. You know, they're not for just the character in general, they're for how to use them in Conquest. But as far as, like, extra clips and stuff, I might throw in something from Arena. Okay, so there's 2 new abilities. Reveal, which I don't think will probably be used that much just because of how strong wards are in this game. But it expands the minimap to a gigantic portion when you activate it. And then turn minions, exactly as it sounds when you activate it, it turns the minions of the enemy team into your minions in the range that you cast it. So I actually do buy it at the end of this video, so look out for it. I actually used it to troll my Loki because he was so strong in this game that he was gonna, I think getting those minion kills might have actually won the game, so I just walked into his 2 and I turned all the minions so they wouldn't die. Yeah, it's pretty strong. Now, you saw I said active for both of those because here's the big change to the game in this patch that is not the game mode or Loki. All store abilities now have a passive. I mentioned this in my Loki video. I'm thinking these might be kind of game-changing. I'm thinking you will start seeing most gods carry 2 abilities at all times because of how strong they are. So those 2 abilities that I just talked about, Reveal, its passive lets you see 12% farther throughout the game. So it's almost like Odin's passive a little bit. So obviously Odin's passive gets even stronger if he has it. Turn minions, when you're near your minions and it's on cooldown, your minions get 20 magical and physical protection, making them harder to kill. I'll quickly run through the other ones, or at least the big ones. So, like, Meditation now gives you a passive 15 mana regen per 5 seconds. Girdle of Might gives you a passive 10 or 15 magical power when you're not activated. That's pretty gigantic. That means that, like, your support gods at the beginning of the game that used to just get Girdle of Might and Creeping Curse now will actually have physical power when they buy that. So your Emir will come out dealing magical damage right off the start. I mean, it's pretty strong. Hand of the Gods now makes you do 20 damage per minion, 20 extra damage per minion hit, and you get 10 health from taking out minions. So it actually might be good in a lane when you think about it. Sprint makes you move 10% faster all the time. Again, on a guy, actually Loki, that might not be bad. You want to build him as fast as possible, so another 10% boost on top of everything else you have, pretty strong. Aegis Amulet gives you 20 magical and physical protection when it's on cooldown, so that's pretty big. You can no longer be pulled while you're invulnerable, so that's a big change. However, on the opposite side of that, beads no longer stop pulls. So Ares just got incredibly strong. Keep that in mind. If you want to stop Ares, you want to buy Aegis, not Purification Beads. So That's a huge change, and I just want to say that as loudly as possible. If you are against an Ares, you no longer want Purification Beads, you want the Aegis Amulet. I don't know how I feel about that change, but, you know, that's what they went with. So, just keep that in mind. Don't buy beads and think it's going to stop Ares anymore. So, getting into the bottom of the patch notes as this game is starting to wind down, as I've already mentioned, normal mode is now Conquest. Here's a big one. You now have 10 seconds to sell back the last purchased item at full cost. This is something that people have shouted from the rooftop since the game came out, because of either auto-buy accidentally being on, or just a misclick when someone was trying to buy Hand of the Gods and they end up with Meditation or something. So you got 10 seconds to sell it back and you get all your money back. All queues now have a little information box. I think I showed that off on my Loki video, so go back and look at that. Minotaurs now break down deployable, so that's kind of cool to see. If you put down an Emir wall in front of him, dude's just like, nope, gonna go right through that. Minions, this is kind of funny. You might have been able to see it already in this video. Minions, now when they're hit in the upper body, they like kind of recoil, but the thing is, Roman range, too strong, as everybody knows. So these dudes look like they have epilepsy walking down the lane, just constantly twitching back. It's funny. So look for that next time, because it's kind of ridiculous. The HUD, so Loki has a special scrolling combat text graphic for a successful backstab. I think you saw that in my Loki video, so I won't go into that anymore. There were a few god fixes. I'll just go through them. There's only 3 of them. So Freya's ultimate, if she's rooted, she was supposed to be able to ultimate out of that, and now she can, as it was supposed to be. Sobek's charge spray no longer goes through enemy minions, so if you hit a minion, it stops your charge and you can't get the fling off. Again, remember that. It's probably fair because that was a little bit overpowered. So now if you're playing against a Sobek, remember you can kite through your minions to avoid getting pulled. Ares' Blessed Presence is no longer affected, that's his passive by the way, is no longer affected by active item auras. So think of, what would be a good example of is Creeping Curse an active aura? But anyways, there's items that you buy in the store that have an aura around it, and it accidentally used to give you 40 magical power like his passive does. Some bug fixes, so Bastet used to have a problem where she was, her jump back cooldown was interrupted. That's no longer the case. Freya, Valkyrie's Discretion, you used to be able to take Arachne up with you, which is probably bad for Arachne and Freya in that situation, so that's fixed. Arachne will fall off of Freya when she goes up. And then Hebo and Sobek no longer ignore deployables during their ultimate, which means Hebo no longer can ult out of Odin's Playpen, which, if you remember, is a video that I made on this channel, and then I brought up into Reddit and all that good stuff. So, yeah, that finally got fixed out. And there is an 18-minute video of me just talking on this channel. Good God. I'm going to go take a nap, because that was a lot of words. But I will see you tonight on the stream, and tomorrow on YouTube, maybe. Goodbye.